Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. Patience and persistence. These are the two tools that we need. Theoretically, no time is needed. You are that divinity. It is here, it is now, it is never absent. Unfortunately, all the obstacles that we have created and reinforced, they are quite persistent too. It's not that we have to reach something. You have to become aware what is here, what is now. And we have learned not to be aware of that, but to focus totally on manifestation, on our story, on what we are creating in our mind. And this habit is so strong that it seems to be a tremendous job to get rid of it, to cut through it. It's not that we have to learn the magic trick and then we can do it. The magic trick is here. All we have to do is bring the attention back to that which makes the experience possible. To bring the attention back to being consciously alive, consciously here, now, timeless. It's not even difficult. It just has to be done, and then we have to go about it with patience and persistence. That is the secret. I remember having read long ago, and in Nisargadatta's I am that the, the successful few are those who persist. It was a good reminder, time and again. I didn't have patience. I thought even that patience is a weakness. I thought if I'm patient, then I'm not sincere. I have to insist. I want something now. But what I didn't understand that me who wants that is exactly the guy that has to let go. What we are looking for is not a trophy that we have to somehow earn. It's not that I as a person am getting richer with something that is eventually served on a silver platter called enlightenment. People always talking, I hear people talking, an enlightened person is like this, and an enlightened person is like that, and they don't do like this, and they don't do like that. But it's a wrong concept. The person I think I am is not what I am. And it's not that we have to decorate that person with more spiritual glamour. We just have to become aware this person is just a role that we are playing temporarily. But prior to that, we are. We are before that. We are during that. We are after that. We are here now, timeless. And here now, if we bring the attention back to this here now, we are touching reality. It's not so difficult to do. What is difficult to accept that it may take its own time that we start to see any results. And why should that be? It's simply because we have covered up that purity of existence so strongly with our conditionings that we have accumulated while growing up, and then after that, just mindlessly, without being aware of it, made stronger and stronger and stronger and more persistent, that every moment becomes more and more that we just learn to react to it in a pre-set fashion according to our ingrained habits, according to our ingrained conditioning. And not only reacting to situations that are so-called outside, but also how we deal with our own thoughts and our own emotions. Instead of making use of every moment to become self-aware, to become aware of that which makes the experience possible, we are so totally engrossed and react and react and react and react, positive and negative. There is no other way but in one way or another to learn to redirect the attention. It doesn't matter how we are doing it. Self-inquiry is a very direct way to go about it. It really cuts through the things and comes back and aims at the source. But we can be equally direct doing it in any other way if we know what to do. If we are not simply practicing, repeating a practice, hoping that we accumulate enough merit to deserve finally something, some reward. A simple conscious act like breathing in, breathing out, and relaxing brings us right back to that source. If we open up to that, if we are not doing it, hoping, okay, if I breathe so many times consciously, then I have gained that much on my spiritual capital. Getting closer to getting the reward. Persistence, patience. I had that grace, that persistence was there, but I had to learn that patience is needed, because patience means I can let go of that which I believe I am. And as long as I believe that I'm a person, naturally, there is always that discontent, because something knows in ourselves that we are that so much more, that our true nature is full of joyousness and creativity and beauty. It's not something that we have to accumulate through spiritual practice. It's there, a notion of it. And as long as we are identifying with the person, then of course we are depriving ourselves from that treasure that is there. And naturally there is that sense of dissatisfaction. Something is terribly missing. And then the difficulty is to accept that me as a person, I'm starting to practice. But it's not that me as a person finally gets a reward. It's that one who starts out practicing has to let go. We have to become aware that that personality is a fabrication in the mind. It's a ghost. It doesn't really have any substance except that we think about it all the time. All our emotions are centered around that story, around that role, and then it becomes so substantial, appears to be so real, but actually it's a ghost. It's there because we recreate it all the time out of habit. If we stop doing that, then it is seen for what it is. Okay, it's a role we are playing in this particular dream-like existence, in this matrix. And it doesn't matter whether we hold on to that personal I or that real I. There is that always that conflict in people, but if I'm doing self-inquiry and I'm focusing on my ego, then I'm just strengthening the ego. But this sense of being, this I sense that is there in the personality is a reflection of that real sense of existence. Brahmana sometimes called it the I to make the difference. But there are not really two eyes, different eyes. There are different aspects of personality, and we can say, okay, so many different persons are there in one body, because sometimes I'm like this, sometimes I'm like that. Or you can become aware that this sense of I-ness is just a reflection of that awareness of being alive, of being aware. And if we want to free ourselves from that state of dissatisfaction, of something terribly missing, there is no other way but in one way or another to bring the attention back home to that immediate direct awareness of being here now, conscious. Sometimes when I had asked people to please just breathe, breathe and relax, or center and breathe and relax. They do it a bit and say, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't work. Nothing changes. There we need the persistence. We cannot hope that we have been strengthening the way of functioning, all our habits, all our inhibitions, all our patterns that we are holding on to. We have been building them up and strengthening for a long time, that after that they simply go away from one day to another. Theoretically, it's possible. Practically, it's an extremely rare exception when this is happening. And to those who it happens, they have from the beginning most probably much a thinner layer of obstacles they have to confront and to deal with. Let's just be honest. We all have grown up in a society where everybody functions from that ego standpoint, from that me, I, me, my story, totally centered on that. Waking up in the morning, thinking about it, going through how the way think the day, thinking about it, going to sleep, thinking about it, all our thoughts and emotions centering around that me, I, me, mine, that personality, that center of the universe. It's not so easy to get rid of old habits. How we have to do it is not difficult. What is difficult is to have the faith, to have the courage, to have that strength to persist and simply go on and on and on. Gradually, the old conditionings are getting weaker and eventually the whole structure may crumble. It's not that on one stroke all the conditionings are gone, but they stop having the power to be in charge. They stop having the power to influence every thought, every emotion, every action, every reaction. And then from that new perspective, it is relatively easy to be aware, there is just an old habit coming up, raising its head, and we have the freedom not to go along with it. There are also trends, there are also tendencies. They are not creating any harm. We don't have to somehow struggle to get rid of those too. We just have to have that honesty, looking at ourselves and see what we are doing and becoming aware how we are creating obstacles, how we are creating pain, how we are creating suffering, and then learn not to do that anymore. And for that, it helps very much if we pick up one easy help, one easy technique. There are teachers, especially around here, the Advaita scene, say, no, 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 don't use a method, don't pick up any technique. How could you hope with a technique to reach reality? We don't need a technique to reach reality. We are already that. You are that all the time. It's not that we have to somehow deserve it and then being presented by it. What is needed is that we really listen to ourselves, what really comes from the depth of our being, that call to come home, that call that creates a longing for something we don't quite know what it is, and yet still somewhere we know what it is because it's our true nature. A longing to be free of everything that creates always suffering, everything that creates always that mental anguish by that we are most of the time because we are in this harmony with the story, in this harmony with what is happening in the world, in the mind, instead of learning to just observe it and then redirect the attention to that which makes the experience possible. So pick up an easy help. Do self-inquiry, or breathe consciously, or use a mantra. Use anything that helps you to consciously connect. Consciously bring the attention to that one and single and only point where we are touching reality. Here, now, the timelessness of the now. And then go about it with patience and persistence. Somehow the persistence had been there, and it was very much supported by my teacher, by my guru, Amachi. The patience was something, as I said, somehow I didn't even want to have patience. I thought patience is weak. Patience is simply accepting defeat, but it's not true. It's simply being realistic about the situation and okay, there are simply too many obstacles and I have to learn to deal with them, that they stop being obstacles. Even if tendencies are still there, they can stop to be obstacles because we are not more a victim of that conditioning. If there is no patience, then there is a lot of pain. But if there is no patience and we cannot artificially produce it, then gradually we have to learn it we have to learn it the hard way. But what is really necessary to persist, not to give up. That doesn't mean everybody should now do nothing else but sit on their bum and try to meditate the whole day long. It simply means that we sincerely, honestly remind ourselves, and the moment we become aware how much the attention has just gone off again somewhere, that we persistently bring it back to that basic awareness of being here now, alive. Not I'm this person or that person, I have these qualities or those qualities. No, simply to the simple, pure sense of presence. Especially in the present time, it is important that we remember this. It has been like this for a very long time, that the conditioning has been very much fueled, supported by forces that didn't want people to open up to their true nature, by forces that get a kick out of it when people are in tensions, when people are suffering. And right now, these forces are extremely active and manifesting in the material world very strongly. And there is a strong pull in the people's mind to just follow the stream that is being given, directed by those forces that are in control, that are in power. But we are not victims. We don't have to be victims. And it is possible also now to catch the attention, turn it around, and come back to the source. If, in spite of all the difficulties, in spite of all that setup that wants to pull the attention more away from the subtle and getting more immersed in the material, mechanical material, that in spite of that pull, if we are capable of cutting through it and come to that simple beauty of existence there in such a intensity as it is there now in manifestation, we are gaining enormously of strength. Let's not waste our time. Let's not lament about what's going on. It's horrible what's going on in the world. It looks like it's going from bad to worse. And it's very well possible that what is going on right now is doing a great deal to really break down a lot of the economy that is there around the world and creates chaos and creates difficulties that people may have to face even more difficult times. But no matter what is happening, this is momentary. Don't let yourself get depressed by it. You can watch what's going on, you can inform yourself, but at the same time, accept the fact I have come here in order to become self-aware. I have come here in order to learn to deal with those confrontations. Whether we are directly involved physically or whether we are just observing what's going on, it can be totally crushing if we let ourselves to be crushed by it. But if in spite of that we are capable of catching the attention and bringing it back, we become aware, nothing can really happen to what I am. And in that intensity, in this particular period of time, we have, because of that, we have also a great opportunity that in difficult circumstances to connect, to learn to let go, brings enormous benefit, helps us enormously quick to see what prevents us from being natural, to see what prevents us from being in our natural state. That should be there, that is our birthright. And when we see that, we can develop that strength of resisting even strong pulls, of not getting sucked into things that we don't want, and learn to be natural. Learn to be consciously conscious. Learn to be consciously alive here now. It's not necessary to try again and again and again new things. We can get very much distracted if we do that. Pick up something that comes natural, something that helps us to remember and to connect, and then stay with that. Go on and on and on. Doesn't mean it has then to be there the whole lifelong. Eventually, a certain way of going about it, one may feel it's not more necessary and stop using that technique. But it's only appropriate if we do so if really we have come to that point where we are capable of connecting simply by consciously relaxing. Breathe and relax. That's my favorite way to go about it. It's as powerful as self-inquiry. Who am I? Who am I? It turns into the awareness. I am. I am. All right, my friends. I leave the subject for today, and I'm asking you, is there anyone here now who would like to come in and say something? You are welcome to do so. Hello, Nava.
Hi, Werner. Um, it's been about 2 months since I got back from India.
Yeah.
And even though I was there with the group you met, I felt that I really went my own way
Mm.
when we were there. And it felt much clearer the way that I should be going with my practice and what I should be doing. Um, I felt Ramana Maharshi's presence very strongly in the ashram,
Yeah.
and I think it had a real, really strong effect on me, and it's made it clearer. And since I got back, I've stopped taking courses. I haven't gone to retreats because I find that that's not really my way. That became clear to me with the group in India.
Yeah.
And so I'm going my own way. And it seems, on the one hand, it seems like the way to go.
Mm.
And on the other hand, because I'm going on my own, I feel there's a lot of doubt
Mm.
that I'm making a mistake. And I also feel really isolated and really alone
Mm.
with it because the people in my life either think I'm crazy or whatever, but there's just no common language right now. And
Mm.
because I'm not doing courses or retreats, I don't even have anyone really to speak to who knows what I'm doing. And I don't know what's worse, the doubt or feeling so isolated,
Mhm.
and not quite sure where to go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, it's more tempting to have doubts if we don't have a support group that can reaffirm and encourage us. That we do the practice and then somehow suddenly comes the thought, but if it was right, there should be more manifestation of it. Somehow something should change, something should happen. And then very easily the doubt comes, I'm doing something wrong. For that, it can be very helpful if you are in a group, and especially if you are then with that group in connection with somebody who talks from their own experience. But basically, you can also learn to develop that strength, even if the doubts come, that you think, no, no, after all, it's not difficult to understand what is needed. It's not difficult, basically, to go about it. We can fool ourselves and think, oh, I'm doing a lot, but actually, we just once in a while spend a moment in connecting. But if we are alert and conscious, then you cannot really make mistakes. If you are honest, we cannot really make mistakes. We can have still expectations in our mind. It's not easy to let them go, but gradually that also disappears and you can go along patiently, persistently, accepting, okay, whatever is the cosmic will, the divine will, the will of my own self will happen, that the experiences will come that make it easier, that will be more expansive, that help to drop whatever is there that tries to put the consciousness into a small bubble. I mean, if you suddenly feel that you need a bit more contact again and feel like connecting with a group, you can very well do so, but you don't have to do so thinking in your head, maybe I'm making mistakes and maybe I need that feedback from there. If you feel that pull in your heart and it feels totally right, then you can do so. But otherwise, if you basically are still convinced what you felt when you were in Tiruvannamalai is this group thing is not really my thing, or at least not my thing anymore, then you can also follow that. And when the doubts come, then you face them and you don't take them serious.
It's very easy to think that it's real.
Yes, because we
Mm-hmm.
have the tendency to repeat and repeat and repeat certain thoughts, and then they feel, yes, 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 they seem to be so real. And it's nothing wrong to be observative, to make sure that we are not going half to sleep on the way, that we keep that alertness. So, but then when we start to think, oh, something must be wrong, without knowing what is wrong, but simply because we conclude like this, because we think if nothing was wrong, then I would experience more, I would have more results. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I've been always after Amma, but what is wrong? Why is nothing happening? And I had the good luck that she was there and say, come on, nothing is wrong. That you think something is wrong, that is wrong.
It's there's also the concern that if there is no if I'm really on my own with what I'm doing, how do I know it's the right thing?
Because if you are honest with yourself and you connect really with the essence as good as you can, then it brings you enough of a strength and an equilibrium, equanimity that is getting stronger, that you can know, okay, yes, that's the right direction. If one expects great experiences, then one may be very disappointed if they are not happening. But if we are observing ourselves and there are these little signs that maybe appear like nothing, but then you suddenly become aware, in this situation I could stay calm. Well, I know some time ago in the same situation I would have lost it. I would have much more reacted. This seems to be very little, hardly mentionable, but these are the clear signs that you are going in the right direction.
It's something that's happening lately. My meditation is, well, it's difficult right now. I'm very tired. We
Hmm.
don't have many nights when there aren't missiles, and so sleep is really disrupted, and it's having a big effect, I think.
Yes.
So fatigue is an issue as well, and but I find, well, depending on what time of day I meditate, I fall asleep.
Hmm.
I'm better in the morning. In the afternoon, I just always fall asleep when I meditate.
Hmm.
But the meditation doesn't seem to be, I don't know what word to use, improving or whatever. And yet I do find that I come back a lot faster.
Hmm.
Not meditation, but just during the day.
Yes.
So I'll have a really difficult time. And then I somehow am able to come out of that. So the meditation isn't any better, but the day to day is better. And
Hmm.
it almost seemed like it was backwards for me because it's usually been the other way around.
Yeah. First, you felt more established in your meditation, and then gradually it started to manifest the rest of the time. And right
Yeah,
now it feels the opposite.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can get myself into a real emotional hole, but I can pull myself out,
Mm.
not in months and not in weeks, not even in a day usually. I can
Yeah.
somehow reconnect with what's important, but the meditation doesn't seem to be going anywhere that it wasn't already.
Yeah. Well, don't worry about that. And if you're basically quite tired, then that's also understandable. That after a moment it just comes to sleep. Zoop. Meditate as good as you can and be as alert as you can in your day-to-day life. That's all that you need to do. It's not that something is wrong with your meditation, that the meditation is not improving. Just that you do it in spite of that is already great. And sometimes it will be easier and sometimes it will be more difficult. And if the sleep comes, then maybe it's okay that for a moment you sleep a little and try again and then it goes well.
Okay, last thing, and it's to do with meditation. Something I haven't done in many years since the war started. I do more guided meditations
Yeah,
because they help me focus better.
yeah.
Um, and it was strange at first because that was not something I was doing at all. So um, just want to hear what you have to say about that.
Well, if you feel attracted to a certain way of a guided meditation, then this is perfectly valid. But if you don't feel attracted, then don't think, oh, I have to do it in spite of that because if I'm sincere, I'm doing it. I'm doing it no matter whether it corresponds with me or not. But no, no. If the guided meditation feels like, ooh, what the whole setup is not my cup of tea, then you better leave it. But if you feel comfortable with a certain approach and it helps you to be calm, to be in the present, to connect consciously, then by all means, you can very well use that.
No, I've been doing meditations I like. It
Yeah,
just seems strange to be doing guided ones. That's
yeah, yeah. You can do both. Then you do sometimes the guided meditation and then sometimes you sit again by yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been starting to do that a little bit more. Is
Mhm.
just sitting. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
And everybody is tired. It's not simply that a part of it is certainly what you say, that you can't have a proper sleep, that your sleep is interrupted all the time, but then everybody is tired. We have our system is loaded with stuff that makes us tired. So in spite of that, we do what we can. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like that everybody is tired no matter what.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Right. Not simply where the missiles are flying around, but also all around. People think, oh, it's old age, but I mean, people always were getting older, but right now it's a general experience that people are feel easy exhausted, easily feel tired. It has to do with all the tremendous increase of the EMF, of the waves where we are living in. We are like swimming in an increasing uh, field of radiation. On top of that, our bodies have been charged with something that is not healthy and that makes people tired, that tries to create all kinds of changes in the body in not a good direction. So that feeling tired, feeling exhausted is quite common, and don't feel something is you are doing wrong. uh, that it is because of you are doing something wrong. If you can sleep, maybe sleep a bit more than you are used to. But if you can't, then do as good as you can. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it helps to hear. I think you're right. Everybody is tired. Everybody complains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Thank
No,
you.
you're
Thank you.
welcome. Wish you all the best. Hari Om, Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? As I said in the beginning, there are influences that make it even more difficult. These influences has been here in this world for a long time, and it has not been easy. It felt always like uphill work to be conscious, to make an effort to be conscious, while it should be natural. There are influences that want people to disconnect from reality, because that gives those forces a benefit. It gives them a kick when we dysfunction, when we malfunction, when we are negative, when we have negative emotions. It gives them a kick energetically. And right now, this is very extreme, that pull. So this is for everybody. You don't feel something is now deadly wrong with me because I'm feeling a lot more tired in these days. So much goes on energetically that the system is being stressed. We can relax, learn to relax in spite of that. And it's good to consciously do so. It's good to accept this challenge of this difficult time, that the intensity can also help us to go that much deeper. Simply, it needs even more alertness than at other times. The alertness to watch ourselves, to see how we are functioning, how we are having the tendency to really go off somewhere in some dream thoughts instead of being here now, alive, consciously alive. So I can only repeat, it's good to remember we have come for that. We have come not to be in a paradise, not to be in a heaven, but to be in a world where we face these confrontations, and learning to accept the confrontations instead of resisting. Learning to accept that there are things that are difficult instead of resisting that they are like that, and then learn in spite of that to connect. And for that, we need to be alert and remind ourselves, hey, connect, connect, connect. Because of that, I said, pick up an easy help. If we have such a help, such a way to go about it, then it comes much more and more automatic. And when it comes automatic, that possibility is there that we still go about it in a way, but still the attention drifts off again. But it's then easier when we remember to just relax and be right here. I'm quoting again Nisargadatta. I mean, he was not an ascetic. He was living in the world He had his family, bringing up his children, getting them married, being a busy family man. And after initially his guru gave him a mantra of a Siddha tradition, he did that mantra very intensely and started to quickly have experiences. But then very soon his guru told him, actually, you just stay with that sense, I am. And that's what he did after that. No matter what he did, whether he was working, whether he was with people, whether he was in the family, whether he was in his speedy shop, as good as he could, I am. And then in the spare time, he was sitting by himself, either remembering his guru, his words, his face, his appearance, or then simply staying with that sense, I am. That was all the help he needed. He just went about it with patience and persistence. We can pick up something like that. It can be the I am, or the question, who am I? Or it can be that we just learn to breathe consciously. And with the breathing, learn to relax. And with that relaxed breathing, becoming more and more aware automatically of what the thoughts are doing, what the emotions are doing, how it has the tendency to create obstacles, to create more a sense of a covering up reality instead of opening up. And by becoming aware of it, we can also let go of that, relax more, not fight with it, see what's going on, connect with it, and relax, and let the tensions that are hooked into those old patterns and conditionings, let those tensions disappear. I'm asking you again, my friends, is there anyone who would like to come? You're welcome.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Nelly.
I want to ask about common what you told with Navar about doubts. So from time I have doubts, if I really observe my fears and my emotions and my feelings, no, not feelings, my body, or maybe I intensive this fear in my mind. So I was sitting today and one fear came up in me, like maybe phobia, old thing. And I was watching, trying to relax. Not everywhere it was successfully. In some parts it was not good, not success. And I was sitting for 3 hours watching this. But I can't say it disappeared. But I felt better when I stood up. Didn't feel much heaviness that it was before some years ago. It was like a hard job to sit. But also I thought, what was it? Did I really observe, or maybe I made something stronger, this fear? Maybe I could do it in another way and more easy to more quickly to relax. Maybe it's so so slowly goes with me because I do it not so effective. Maybe I should stop every hour and walk. Maybe it should help. I don't know. I can't say that I make myself sit, force myself. I can't say that I force myself do it. But maybe maybe I don't notice it, and it's my, how to say, in my mind that I should, and maybe I don't notice that. I don't know. Can I have some definition to for sure to know that I do it right or not? I do something not right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's again the same thing. Maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. And today you were with that fear stuff and it somehow persisted. And in all the time you meditated, you said it didn't really go. But after that, when you get up from your meditation, you still felt, actually, something feels good. Done a good job there. Right. So I don't think that you did something wrong, but it somehow didn't happen that it disappeared immediately. And so it came over and over and over again. And then if you persistently confront it and accept it that it's come, but that at the same time let go as good as you can, even if you feel it's not really going, something is going. And as you then appropriately expressed after the meditation, you felt, like something lighter there. Don't think it's wrong. There is not the one perfect way to go about it. One can about everything, one can go in slightly different ways about it, and people are different. What works best for one mind does not necessarily work best for another mind. So everybody is actually always finding a bit their own way, even if you are following blueprints that are already there. And sometimes when you look at yourself and something comes up, all we need to do is watch it, see it coming up and letting it go, and it goes. And sometimes certain stuff is so deep ingrained that it simply doesn't want to disappear. Simply out of old habit. So don't worry. When that happens, it's great that you have continued in spite of the difficulty. And I'm sure you have done a lot of good work, even if you didn't quite get it, even if you were not quite aware of it when you were doing it. That whatever you have done has still released a lot of that energy that was stuck into this nexus of fear. And instead of making it stronger, it has become weaker. But it may need other sessions again, maybe a few, maybe quite many times until that particular thing is gone. Certain things are very strong and just need their own time. But if you are doing what you have done, if you are alert like this, then no question, they become weaker.
Okay, Werner. Thank you. Thank you very much for inspiration also.
You are
Thank you.
welcome. Hario, Hario. If we had that confidence in ourselves and just would go about it with patience and with persistence, then we wouldn't need any teacher, we wouldn't need any guide, we wouldn't need anyone to help. It's mainly because then always come these doubts, come these handicaps, and maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm making it worse, maybe I'm making a mistake, maybe I this and maybe I that. If that basic confidence is there, that even if such thoughts come out of old habit, then we can cut through it and simply go on, totally out of our own strength. Well, as soon as we're doing something, then there comes a lot of support anyhow, on a subtle level. Because, like I said before, that there are forces that keep people rather dull and disconnected from reality because they get the kick out of it. There are also the other forces who get the kick out of it if we connect. But the difference is that there is then an exchange. There is a simultaneously they get something and simultaneously they support us, and so we are not really that alone all the time as we may feel. But still, the decision from moment to moment, whether at least I attempt to turn the attention back home to the source, or whether I just let it go, completely carried along by the happenings, predictably getting into troubles many times. We have that freedom from moment to moment to choose one direction or the other. And even if we choose to bring the attention back to the source, then still we may be carried away time and again and time and again and time and again, but the very decision is what matters. The very conscious, sincere attempt. And sometimes we are more successful, sometimes we are less successful. That that doesn't really stand in our hands. That doesn't lay in our hands. But whether we are going about it or not, that's our job. So I'm asking again, is there anyone who would like to come in, say something? You're welcome to do so.
Hello.
Hello, Anton.
How are you?
Oh, quite okay. Are you back in Russia?
Yes,
I see. Back in Russia.
yes. I want to ask about the history. I see it and I come out from it, but it don't help because one history became a meal, my meal, and I don't understand what to do or not what to do. Only thing is like I see on the sun, it brightening and it make me more warm. It's like this history is like a sun. I can't do anything with it and come to go inside my home not to see the sun. But I know it is so. Um, it disturb. It disturb. Don't understand what I have to do or not to do.
I didn't quite get what you meant when you say about history. What you really meant with that?
It is about relationships.
That's the big one.
Relationships between the people.
Yeah. And then you look at the history and you see that it has the tendency to always pull you away from the clarity. Or what do you mean about the history?
This history is eating my energy and I can't do anything with it.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. It is eating our energy if we let it eat our energy. If we learn to observe and learn to detach, the more you are aware and the more you are detached, the less it will eat your energy. The less you will feel like you are sort of completely drained. It can feel very much like this, human interactions, that one feels drained. But if we learn to observe and learn to detach, not getting just helplessly pulled into everything that comes along, but are aware there is always this aspect in ourselves that is not affected by whatever it is happening, the more you turn the attention towards that, the less the circumstances, the happenings, the history is capable of eating your energy.
It doesn't help.
Observing doesn't help.
No.
No.
It's like a sun. I can't do anything with it. It's something that happens in the world, like the second sun. I see it and I ask why two suns? I have one sun. Why the second? And I can't do anything with it.
Mm. But you can connect with the sun and make it into a friend, make him into a friend and a source of energy. Or you can be oblivious that there is the sun there all the time.
It involves me in the actions. My mind say me do anything, do anything, do anything.
Mhm.
I say him, I see you, I see you, but it doesn't help. It's only eating my energy.
Mm.
I can't do anything.
That's what you think. But if it's eating your energy, I think that you can do something about it.
Yes, I can do, and it's involve me in a social activity, but I don't want to be very social, and it will disturb my balance maybe. But I'm not in balance if I don't do anything. If I do anything, I will not be in a balance. If I not do anything, I am not in a balance.
Yeah.
So
So something has to be done about that.
yes,
Right.
yes,
Right.
something have to be done, but nobody wants to do anything.
Yeah, and if you see, but then I have to involve myself, and you think, no, I should not get involved. Should be need. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing should be done. Nothing has to be done. Then you can also remind yourself the fact that the circumstances, no matter which ones, that they are capable of eating up my energy means that I do already involve, but I'm not quite quite aware to what extent I'm involved in the story. that I'm involved in the history, that I'm involved in what is happening. And there, what we can do about this is to direct the attention there and become more aware of it, and then learn to let that go as good as we can. And that is something that can be done. It's not producing your true nature, but it helps you to come to a point that your energy is getting eaten up less by whatever is happening in the things, in the stream of events, of things. Like the comparison with the sun. It's there, it's keeping this world alive, and we can completely ignore it. It's still doing its job. But we can also consciously spend every day some time and open up into contact with that magnificent being, the sun, and getting supported and energized. It's not something that is simply abstractly there. There is a source of energy, and we can consciously tap into it, or we can just ignore it. Both is possible. And so don't shy away of doing things. If you see you can somehow change the situation, that something that is bothering you, like your energy is feeling drained, that your energy is getting eaten up. If you can do something about it, that this is not happening or less happening and less happening, then it's worth the trouble to do those actions, to be that doer. Don't be afraid of doing something about it. Apart from that, it's not a bad policy to be withdrawn and not too much involved. But you can't avoid it. Sooner or later, you do get involved.
I don't understand why it's so main for me.
Mm.
Why it's disturbed me. I see, but I don't understand why. Because everything I know, I understand. This is I don't understand.
Mm.
I don't do anything with it. Meditation, activity, business, nothing to help.
Mm.
And I only can see that sun shining me and can't do anything with it. It's every time it's in front of me, every time, night, morning, meditation, business, every time,
Mm.
and I see it, and it's something that bigger than my ego, and my ego doesn't understand what to do with it because mm, it disturbed me, and I don't understand why it's disturbed me. Don't understand because I am not stupid. I am practice, but this is out of my mind. It's bigger than my mind. It's bigger than I can. Uh, mm, so
Actually, it's not so beyond the reach of your mind, but something in your mind doesn't want to see it. Something uh, something in you wants to keep up that comfort that is something that is out of my hands. And maybe you can tell yourself, no, I stop that and I start to take the responsibility of the situation. That I'm not shying away from seeing how and where my energy is being lost, getting eaten up, but that I take that responsibility to see what's going on and then take the responsibility to start to do something about it, that it's improving the situation. You're shying away from taking the responsibility and say it's simply there. But it's how you are dealing with it is not simply a given. That is something that we are influencing, and we can do that very consciously.
It's like something fires me, my finger, and I say him, okay, I take responsibility, you fire me, but something happens that I can't control, and this situation is not under control.
Yes. Actually, very little is under control. We can take the responsibility. That doesn't mean we are after that in control of the situation. But we can take the responsibility of not more somehow simply think things are just the way they are and I cannot do anything about it. But take the responsibility to have a good look at what really is happening and then take the responsibility to start to work on it, that it turns more and more in a way that we feel is good. That responsibility we can take. That doesn't mean we after that they are in control of the situations, but we learn how to deal with the situations that finally they stop being enemies, they stop being those black holes that drain away our energy.
Yeah, this is like a black hole. I don't understand it, don't do anything with it. And it fires me. Fires my ego.
What do you mean? It fires you. It's burning you. Uh,
No, it's like I keep my hand on
oh, yes, right.
on the fire,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's why
Hmm. It's hurting.
hurting very hot.
Yes.
2 years hot.
Circumstances, they are sometimes hurtful. But then, without being aware of it, we have the tendency to hurt ourselves more. And by consciously deciding, okay, I want to watch this happening more closely, more openly, more alertly, there you are initiating the possibility that at least even if the circumstances have the tendency to be hurtful, that we are not increasing that hurt. But in contrary, we learn to deal with it and let it go. And then it stops to be so a drainage of energy. Shall we leave it at that for today?
No,
No?
it's like a sun. It doesn't go away. Before, if I am in this world, I have a son, so I can't go from this world. and sun is with me. It's like something that can, I think I can use it for enlightening this situation, because this is, I think, very grateful power, and these powers I can't change it. I can use it, but I can't understand how to use it for maybe enlightening.
But what you can change is when you really put your attention to it, what you can change is the way you are reacting to what is there. And then it stops to be something like a hole in the fabric that drains away your energy. Then you can learn to deal with the circumstances in such a way that instead of making you tired, you consciously learn to grow with them.
I hear words, but it doesn't help.
It doesn't
Nothing
help.
help. Nothing help.
The words don't help. If the words
No.
inspire you to take action, then the help comes out of yourself.
One moment's only help. When I became not personality, it's helped me.
Yeah.
So it's disappeared. When I become not personality, it's disappeared.
Yes.
And when I become personality, more social, not personality but more social, it appears and it fires. It's so. Like that.
Like that. Right. So the job is to become more aware how you can not become a personality.
Yes, I understand it, but it's very hard.
It's very hard. Yes.
I'm very lazy, and this situation is for lazy men, and it's good for me, but it's not understandable. It's not easy to see it.
Yes, that reluctance is there to really consciously get involved. Because it feels it should be naturally, simply disappear. Everything that hurts, everything that is disharmonious, because it's unnatural. But since we have come into this particular matrix, right now it's not functioning very natural, and so things are hurting. And in spite of that, we can learn and overcome our reluctance, overcome our laziness, and accept, okay, I can learn to find my way that it hurts less and less. Anyhow, I would like to leave it for now, for today. If you feel like, we can pick the subject up another time, but let's leave it for today.
Okay.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you.
This whole satsang was a bit like a red fill, a red string, red line through the satsang, coming again and again. Patience and persistence. We don't have to create reality with patience and persistence. And yet it is essential if we want to be free. We don't give up, that we are aware we can contribute our part. That we are aware where are those mechanisms that have the capacity to hurt, or as Anton said, to burn. And then learn to go about it in such a way that they hurt less and less. That we become, in the midst of action, also aware there is that aspect that is not affected by it. And there we can do something about it. We cannot create reality. We cannot do something about what we are. We are what we are. But what we can do is to become aware how much we are involved, how much we are doing to support that things are hurting, to support that we are in disharmony, simply because we have to learn to live like this. And then we can do something about it, to undo that, to stop that habit. We need not do anything to be what we are. You are that divinity. It need not be constructed. We cannot do anything about that, but we can do a lot about things that we are doing all the time that keeps us disconnected, apparently, that makes us feel that we are disconnected. There we can do something about it. And what is needed is that keen observation, what's going on, and then learn to let go all those aspects that keep on creating heaviness and pain unnecessarily. And about that, we have to go about it with patience and persistence. Certain things they drop off easily, and certain things they don't drop easily. But if we are patient, if we persistently go about it, even the heaviest stuff that keeps on creating pain can disappear. I wish you all well. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.